Okay, so I'm going to attempt to make a kind of simplified chicken coop. I need to make a new one. My old one is just a little too drafty and too open, and I had a lot of mice and stuff getting into it. So I'm gonna make one out of mostly 2x4s and some scrap pieces that I had laying around, some 4x4 pieces and some other things. So no real plan or anything, just kind of going, have something in my head. Hopefully it comes to shape and is easy to see once I start going. Got some freshly charged batteries. What I'm doing is I'm actually squaring this up by measuring from corner to corner to make sure that it's square. It's not going to be perfectly level because I'm working on the grass, but it's as close as it's going to get. And it doesn't have to be perfect, it's just a chicken coop. Okay, I've got some planking that I'm going to be using. These came off of some pallets. They do have some nails on them that I just turned them up. The important thing is obviously the flooring that the chickens are going to be living on. That's all the nails are flush on that. So I'm going to take these and screw them down to the little platform that I've made. Okay, so my platform is up off the ground. I'm going to put a couple more braces, one on the other side and two down these sides. That might wait till tomorrow. I have to see how much wood I have left. What I'm going to do next is I'm actually going to start building or cutting out the pieces that I need to build walls to go up. So I'm just using 2x4, just like you'd frame a normal wall in a house, but maybe not quite as many studs going up because it doesn't really need quite as many. But yeah, I'm going to get a couple of those cut out next, and then charge the batteries again to my drill. Apparently one of the batteries is shot, so I'm only running on 2 now. All right, let me cut up some boards and then start making some walls. So this is from the side, and you can kind of see how I'm going with this. This little section over here is going to be for nesting, and the rest will just be the regular coop. I'm going to build another wall just like that one to the top. Then I'll build rafters going up the top. This one will come up just about a foot, and I'll put I'm going to put a door that runs the whole length there. So I'm going to need a lot more 2x4s. So it looks like I'm done for today, but the next time you see this video, I'll be cutting and setting up more 2x4s just to make this like a little stick building. So what I'm doing off to the side here is I'm just making a little nesting box. Yeah, I know it's not a perfect rafter. I didn't even notch it. But I'll put 4 of those in, and basically there'll be a piece of plywood that goes over this. There'll be plywood across the sides and the edges and everything. The plywood over the top here will have a hinge, and it'll have a handle on it so I can lift up and reach in and grab the eggs. I have to build the actual roof next. That's the last structural piece that I need. It's a little shaky, but not terrible. Once I get some siding or plywood or something on it, it'll help to rigid things up a little bit. I might end up using more plywood than, or might end up using more 2x4s than I thought I would, but it's still relatively inexpensive. I'm going to measure out for a 412 rafter here. Basically, a 412 rafter means that for every 12 inches of run, you get 4 inches of rise. It's kind of like a standard size. It's good for decent snow load, and you can actually find lots of videos out there on how to do that. So I won't bore you with that. I'm just going to take some measurements and write everything out up here while I have a pencil that's not half broken, and I'll swap out batteries and put the other ones of these in. I'll pick you back up as I'm prepping the pieces for the roof. So I looked at about how big a 412 roof would look. I actually decided I'm going to go slightly bigger. I'm not going to go by an actual set dimension, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a little ridge in the middle, and I'll just measure my pieces off of that. Okay, I got a piece of wood along the back there. I'm going to put a piece on the side. That'll actually start to stiffen everything up. Still have to get a few more boards for the roof line, but I'm going to start putting some plywood on to kind of stiffen it up. And I've also got some handles that I'll put on either side, just so I have something to pick it up and move it around with. So. Okay, I don't mind the smoke. I'm burning off some of the scrap pieces that I have around and some logs I have around. It doesn't look perfect. I got the handles on both sides. I'm going to go put this side piece on, and I'm going to kind of trim it, but leave some of it around, because some of it this might be big enough to cover that whole, the peak up top there, and cover for the side panel. This is also going to eventually be the side that will have the door. So I have to probably hand saw that piece out when I'm done. But basically for now, I'm going to just hold it up, screw it into place, and then I will cut down the roof on the left side where the egg box will be. Okay, it almost looks like I know what I'm doing. So I use the handles to try to help me as like a second set of hands there. I'll clean up that edge over there to make it kind of match up with the other one, and I got to find some more plywood around that I could use for some more plywood to use for the other side and the roof and everything else. Okay, so I'm going to start setting up that plywood. I'm not really going to show it. It's not much really to show. And then I've got to get a couple more 2x4s. Guess I should have gone with the 10% overrule, but I'll get that all done, and I'll start back when I get into putting the roof on next. That'll be the next interesting point. Okay, so another day. I put the rafters in place. And I'm basically just using scrap plywood that I have lying around. So I'm going to put an end over here, and then I got to start building the roof. And I burnt out my circular saw, so I'm going to use a what do you call it, reciprocating saw, a sawzall, because that's what I have. And normally you wouldn't see this much of a gap between the rafters, but this is just something that I'm making as cheap as possible, just to get some new chickens introduced to my current chicken. So let me line up the board and start putting things together, and I'll show you my idea for access over here, and try something a little different. So you're probably wondering why I left that side, why I split the roof in half. Got some hinges here. I'm going to make that side hinged so that I can actually get into the coop from the top and clean, so I can clean it out when I need to. I want to make it tight, but I don't want to make it so tight that I could never get into it, because if you've ever had chickens, they could be a little disgusting sometimes. So it's not a bad idea to make sure that you have access to them, and to where they're making a mess. So real straightforward. Just a couple of simple hinges from Home Depot. Put this all together now. It's not laying fully flat, but it's working. So if I put some roofing on this, I could just put an edge between these two, and it should work fine. Let's see here. I lost a couple screws too, of course, but this will work. If I really wanted to, I could also put something on the side there, a little stick to kind of hold it up. Normally I'd use a slightly smaller stick for this, but this will work too. Yeah, that'll hold it open while you're cleaning up inside, if you need to. So that's about it. That's nice, simple, straightforward. Now just need to do the two roofs on the other side, and it's done. Okay, I measured out a piece for the upper roof. Time for a new battery. We'll swap that out, and I will cut out this last little piece here for the nesting box. Okay, last thing, at least for this video, it's going to be the cover over the nesting box. Just using hinges again. Let's see. So I don't want to make these too tight to each other, like these two edges, because then they'll bind up when I'm trying to flip the top up. I don't want to make them too loose either, because then there's a big hole for rain to get in. Got a little trick to get around the rain though as well, but for now, do something like this. Yeah, I know I'm not measuring or anything, I'm just kind of winging it. Rather than use the little hardware that they gave me, I'm going to actually just use drywall screws, which you shouldn't really use drywall screws for something outside, but once again, trying to do this cheap and easy. And that is it. Give you a overview. So basically, yeah, look at that nice little slant out. That's good, right? Basically, I made this out of just scrap, mostly. I bought new 2x4s, a couple of handles, and some hinges. Everything else was wood that I had laying around. I know I've got gaps. I'm actually going to cover these up with a strip of plastic and just staple it on either end. I'm going to do the same thing at the peak. I think I'm going to do the same thing at the peak. I have to see how it looks when it rains, see if water gets in there. But basically, it's pretty straightforward. I mean, I could put roofing on it if I wanted to. There's some ventilation coming in from this side. See, there's a little bit of an opening there, so they get a little bit of air coming through here. If that's a problem, I could put some they make this like foam stuff that'll go over that. Kind of, you could tuck into corners and stuff. And I did not install the door because I don't know what I'm going to do. They make door opener closers that'll slide up and down, automated ones. I might make this an automated one, I don't know. But basically that's it. It's pretty straightforward. It's a pretty easy build. You don't really need to know a whole lot. You don't need to be perfect. I don't think my chicken will know the difference. She's coming up to take a look at it right now, I think. Well, this one chicken. This is actually going to be for some new little ones that we have. Try to introduce them to her. But this will work. And pretty much you could do it with mostly scrap. I think this cost me just under 40 bucks. So, you know, yeah, craftsmanship, not the best. But price, I mean, can't beat 40 bucks for something like that, right? I don't think it'll fall over and kill all the chickens. I don't hope it won't, but once again, 40 bucks. So, and it's solid. I mean, and it could use paint, but we'll see. And the critics don't seem to mind it that much. She's coming up to investigate it right now to see if it's a good new place for her. So, thank you very much for watching. I hope this gives you a little bit of inspiration. If I could make something like this, even though it's a little bit off, even I can make something like this, I think that anyone can. You know, it just takes a couple of tools, not that many, and yeah, measuring tape, pencil, saw. You can do it too. So thank you very much again for watching. Please subscribe. I know this isn't one of my normal videos, but just something a little off topic. So subscribe. I've got a lot more car-related videos and some other videos of things that are somewhat related. Okay, thanks for watching.